Hello, 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 hello. What's up, what's up? Welcome back to AniYayAniNay. As always, I'm your host, John.
And I'm Joey.
All right, who's ready? You ready?
Get this thing going.
All right, let's get started. Yo, as always, welcome back to AniYayAniNay. Of course, before we get started, we always like to give a big shout out to everybody who comes to watching our videos, because this is a very big thanks to all of you, because we just finally reached 1,000 subscribers, and actually we're a little bit over now, so it's a big thanks to all of you who come to support us.
We greatly appreciate you and love you all.
Yes, we seriously do. I think in my opinion, our next goal is definitely 2,500 subscribers. But really, our next one thing that we're trying to work on is we got to get more comments. We really like to hear y'all's comments, no doubt.
Go ahead and send us some shows that you want us to review. You know, whatever you want us to review, as long as it ain't the one thing that we don't do is hentai, like always. You know, but you know, if you want to comment, go ahead and comment and give us something else to review for y'all.
Yes, and not just shows either. I mean, we'll gladly read all your comments. Anybody who comments on our videos, we'll gladly read them. I mean, we were getting comments here and there, but we're only getting them from a few people, and it's from the same people. But we want to hear more comments from all of you. It really means a lot to us to hear from your comments, because we want to know, is there anything you guys like to hear from us, like to hear what we would talk about, you know, things of that nature. Anything at all.
Your preference, basically.
Anything at all.
We personally don't care.
Yes, we don't care. There's no wrong thing you can put on our comments. We will gladly read them anyway. I mean, we want to hear how you guys feel about our show. I mean, we know how some of you feel, but of course we want to hear from more of you that are coming to support us, of course. But like always, thank you for all your support. So let's get this show started. Let's start with what we've been recently watching. Other than the show that we come on here to discuss and review. Of course, we'll be getting to that in a minute. But, I mean, Joe, you've been watching anything new other than what we came to review here today?
I mean, really, I've been trying, but, you know, it's kind of hard right now. It's still a little bit. We got almost one store stocked, so with people, so it's getting a little bit better, but a little bit aggravating at the same time, because I'm also picking up more hours during the day to do manager stuff. So, but right now, I mean, as in other shows, I don't think I've actually started any other shows. Technically, I don't actually quite remember.
Well, I mean, other than the show we've come to talk about, I've actually kept an eye on one show called Higurashi When You Cry, I believe is what the show is called. All I know is that the first thing is Higurashi, but I mean, I've actually watched this show before, but it's actually a really screwed up anime in my opinion. I mean, I'm not certain if a lot of people who come to our show watch psychological horror animes or like things that have a lot of murderous intent in characters, but this one definitely has that. I mean, when I first watched Elfen Lied, I mean, that was like a really screwed up show. I mean, it's like psychologically racist, and because these girls have horns and they have these powers that allow them to telekinetically pick things up. But one of them is like seriously like screwed up, because she rips people's limbs off and kills people just by like ripping them apart. It's like really screwed up. But Higurashi, in my opinion, is just as screwed up. I mean, these people look like kids, like 13 or 14 years old, and they're beating the shit out of people with chairs.
I mean, that sounds like so much fun to me, you know? It sounds like fun. Just hitting people with chairs. Just sounds like so much fun.
Well, actually, one was doing it because she was getting picked on by someone. She threw the chair at this one girl and then just started beating her with it while she was on the ground.
Exactly. Sounds like so much fun.
But another thing that also is screwed up, this girl named Shion wanted forgiveness in this show, and it's like in order to get forgiveness from her family, she had to have her arm strapped down, and she had to forcibly pull her fingernails out. And I was like, oh God, damn. And it wasn't just like people taking something and just pulling it out. They had it hooked up to a machine, and it's sort of like basically like a push, like for like a, like a punching holes in something. And basically they hit that as hard as they can. It's like boom, and it's like,
and it just yanked it out.
Just pops it right
yay, my finger. My fingernail, yay.
I mean, that just looked painful in my opinion. But I mean, if anybody's interested in those kind of animes, psychological animes, those are definitely two shows you would definitely want to watch. But just like I said, they're kind of screwed up. So, I mean,
you got to have a messed up brain to be able to watch them.
Yes. I'm not messed up in the head. Not like you.
What you talking about? I'm normal.
No, you're not. You're not normal. I'm not even going to go as far as to say that I'm normal.
No, you see, I'm normal. Everybody else is different, okay?
Okay. If that's the way you want to see it, Joe, then go right ahead. but I mean, let's go ahead and get into the review, guys. As we said last time, our review this time is on the show The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest. It's basically about a guy who was a magician who had one of the strongest crests. He reincarnates himself for 5,000 years where he wants the fourth crest.
Mm-hmm.
And he does get the fourth crest, but it's now called the Crest of Failure. And it specializes in close combat.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's basically the short gist of it. I mean, any deeper, we probably go into giving up spoilers, which is something we try not to do.
Too much of.
Yeah. We try not to get too much of spoilers. I mean, the last special episode, I know we gave up a lot of spoilers for Tokyo Ghoul, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people who come to our show have watched that anime before. Oh,
yeah. If you haven't, then I'm sorry, but there's an issue with you.
Basically, I want to get into first talking about the strongest sage, the weakest crest. First, I want to start getting into the characters. Now, the characters are kind of bland, in my opinion.
They are a little bland. Just from what they do, really, the stuff, how they act and stuff like that, it's just bland. It's not a bad show to me personally, like bad as in like crappy, but it's not like the best neither. So
basically, the characters to me are kind of, in a way, like I said, bland. He's like always, it's just sort of any Psyche, but it doesn't it takes place in the same world, just 5,000 years later, reincarnation. So I guess you technically can't count that as Isekai because it's not a different world, but it basically has the same gist. I mean, a guy who comes into the world and he's super OP, and he gets basically a group together, and it's basically all chicks. I mean, that's kind of predictable in a way. I mean, that's usually something that you're going to expect to get chicks if it's a guy, and all the chicks kind of have a thing for the guy, but he helps them get powerful. I think my favorite character out of all of them was, I can't remember her name, but the one that was disguised as a dragon. She was the comedy relief, in my opinion. She was what made that show funny, and I guess what made me interested in keep watching it, because after the third episode, before she came in, I was getting kind of bored until she came in. But then, of course, I got bored again by the 10th episode still, because, I mean, it was basically the same thing with her. She's just a dragon that, like, is basically indestructible. People try to fight her.
Yeah.
And she breaks things with her bare hands. That's because they don't know she's a dragon and she has dragon scales.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, now I can go on the offense, swinging her fist around. Okay.
She basically goes, man, y'all, I don't care about y'all. I'm just going to stand here and take it.
And then, of course, you got your other knack that she's pretty much always hungry. And
all the time.
Yeah, she just...
I'm gonna eat you. That's what she does.
And she eats a lot. I will say that. Whenever she fights, she's like, all this fighting's making me hungry. As for the other characters, I mean, you have an archer, of course, and she's pretty bland and wants to know, and she's just there because she doesn't want to be married off to some guy.
Basically.
I don't know the whole story behind the other one. The other girl that's there, she's basically a blonde chick who's just like our main character. And well, she basically just has a thing for the guy, and she's just good with enchantments. She's basically like him, really good at magic. But let me give you guys some names, of course, because just saying this person, that person, and this person, and that person is going to really blow y'all off. I mean, the main character, of course, is a guy named Mathis. He's the one who's reincarnated, of course, by some magician whose formal name was Gaius. Supposedly, this guy, he was considered as a god before he got reincarnated, because everybody talks about Gaius. So he was basically God in his former life. The character I mentioned who was blonde and good with enchantments, of course, her name is Lurie. And then, of course, the other one who I mentioned was an archer and basically just didn't want to get married off to somebody else. Her name is Alma. And then finally, the dragon's name is Iris. Iris, everybody.
Iris.
She's my favorite character of this show. But no, I mean, her character's okay, but she was the most entertaining character of the show, in my opinion.
She was the most entertaining. Personally, I don't really have a favorite of this show.
I mean, neither do I. I mean, there's more to it than that. I mean, that I'm finding simple dislikes about the show. I mean, basically the setting is kind of the same as any other show, any sci-fi. Basically, the main character knows so much shit and nobody else knows, and they treat him like he's a prodigy. I was like, he's over 5,000 years old, everybody. He knows this shit, and he probably is gonna know a hell of a lot more than everybody else.
Facts, and probably still gonna be alive before everybody else.
Yes.
Since he's already 5,000, I mean,
he is reincarnated 5,000 years ago. But, you know, that's the thing. All these shows, when they're reincarnated, they, keep all their knowledge.
Yeah. And it's actually kind of a little OP to me, really. Sometimes, not all the time.
Well, that's what I said. It's the same thing. Like I told you, new character, reincarnated, different world or different time period. They come into the show, they're OP as fuck. Pardon my French, everybody. But I can't put it any simpler than that, though. This guy is crazy strong, and he's there's supposedly demons in the world that are supposedly the ones causing all the trouble. The reason why no one is as strong as he is anymore, because they kind of changed up history to make it so that they can be dominant and he can't. But whenever the demons fight him, or after he teaches his party how to fight, they basically one-shot the demons and beat the hell out of them, no problem whatsoever. They learn this stuff so easily. It's he's running the whole country now. It's oh, this guy just comes out of nowhere and he's running the country. Well, do you know what he just did?
He just went the fucking. That's what I would be like. He just went the fucking.
Yeah, well, for a 12-year-old, he's pretty badass going in.
Yeah, you got the failure crest. If I can get it out my daggone mouth. But he's got the failure crest, and he's just healing people and everything. The failure crest ain't supposed to do nothing.
Yeah, well, he played tricks on basically one of the lords, thinking that he was a healer and he couldn't fight, while the other people, he thought the girls were the strong ones, so they took him hostage, and he played oh no, help me.
Yep.
And that's when Iris, of course, came out of nowhere and just beat the heck out of him real easily. One thing I found funny about Iris was when she first became a turned into a human, of course, and then she went to the academy to take the test to get in. Of course, she failed or was terrible at the written stuff, but when it came to the practical exam, it was like she was this super strong mage that had no control over her power.
Yeah.
She's throwing...
She's like, I'm gonna fail the written stuff, but it's okay. I'm gonna pass the qualifications.
She blew threw an energy blast at them, at the targets. She missed completely, and it came right back at them. It's like she has no control over what she does. I mean, that's just more of how she's comic and why I like her.
Yeah.
Another important fact to remember also is that Iris is the only one who knows who Mathis truly is.
True.
Because she's just as old as he is.
Mm-hmm.
But he tells her to keep it a secret, of course.
Of course. Can't have it out. Can't have it getting out. I mean, if you have it getting out, then there's an issue.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it will get out later in the manga, but I don't think there's going to be any more anime from this show. And here's what I see why. Let me give you a thing. When I heard about this show, and when you told me it was really good, Joe, I was expecting to say, oh, this guy's like super OP. He's got tons of magic, but he's got a weak crest.
Yeah.
And he can't...
That's what I was expecting too myself, personally, whenever I first started it. But I mean, it's not exactly like that, but it's still not bad. It's just not like great.
I mean, it's the complete opposite of what I was expecting, in my opinion.
That much it is. It is an opposite, a complete opposite of what to expect. But see, that's one thing about me too is I like to expect the unexpected. So,
well, I mean, I like to expect the unexpected too, but not if it's gonna be something that's just been done a lot of times already.
True.
A lot of isekais, Joey, I think you've noticed that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some isekais when they go to a different world and they have to work from the bottom to the top, and it's like, that's a good start. That's a good story. Not just come into the world and they're like freaking, oh my god, this guy is God.
Yep. That is one thing that kind of bugs me about a lot of isekais is because of the just like being OP off rip. Like, I can understand being a little bit OP off rip, okay? Because you came from another world or something like that, right? But like, whenever I say OP, I mean like, you're like me on Call of Duty Mobile, okay?
That's basically what I'm saying. Joey. That's like you dying and then you being reincarnated in COD Mobile, and like you're a great strategist. You know where everybody's gonna be.
Like,
just go up there. You go there.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll take the front. Like, you guys just cover my back. Just
I'll take the front four that's running at us.
And you guys get up there and cover me. And I was like, and then anybody comes out and you can't see, pop! While you're handling everybody else. But I mean, I guess it's okay at certain points if they want to be OP. But just at least put some characters that actually put up a challenge to some of the main characters.
Yeah. Like, I haven't seen a challenge really with a lot of isekais for the main character, like a challenge, like a big challenge. I've seen a challenge, a small challenge, but not like a big decent challenge.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. They're OP and supposedly the strongest people. Oh, they're done. It's like, I believe that's what happened in the beginning. He goes up against some guy who's supposedly the head of the knights at their capital.
Yeah.
And when he fights him with one strike, he breaks his sword. He wins. I'm like, really? Come on.
Like, I'm sorry, but it needed to be a better fighting scene than that. That was nothing.
I mean, heck, Kirito got tougher fights than that. Actually, when he was OP as hell in Sword Art Online, he let people attack him, and he still didn't die.
Yeah.
When he was already.
But at least he let him give a chance. He gave him a chance. Like, he just stood there.
Yeah, remember? It's because he had so much HP, and he had a battle healing skill. So they couldn't do enough damage. He'll just heal back right away.
Yep. Every time they would cut him. Ha-ha, fool.
Yeah.
You faboon.
But technically, with games or with shows like that, I mean, with RPGs or MMOs, basically, if you put your numbers high enough, yeah, basically you are invincible. I'm pretty sure that's the way it is in COD Mobile in a way.
I mean, yeah. If you, I mean, it's not that you're invincible, but if you're decent, like really good at the game, I mean, it gets to a point where you're sitting there trying to play the game and have fun, but you're like just going in, you know, and that's why I play with the people that I play with, because whenever I play with my people that I play with, it always puts me up against people that are like way stronger than us, so it's or way better than us, kind of sort of like, I wouldn't even say better really, I would just kind of like that they're good, like they're great, you know, we're good, they're good, so it's a good battle basically, you know what I'm saying? But with me personally in COD Mobile, I'll be going around just meleeing people and just be going in, like.
That's what I mean, Joe. I mean, you're meleeing people and they're coming at you with guns. And I mean, don't you think that sometimes that make it kind of boring in a way to you sometimes?
I mean, it's not that it makes it boring, okay? I actually like it, okay? Because I'm sitting here running around with boxing gloves, punching you, okay? And you're sitting here trying to kill me. And yeah, you might get me every now and then. But if I look at the scoreboard and I am the MVP on my team, right? With 23 melee kills. And my next teammate has 5 kills and they was using a gun. It makes it funny, okay? It don't make it boring. It makes it funny.
And I guess that would be funny. I mean, I used to kill people with a sword in Destiny, so I mean,
I got my katana diamond on mobile. You know, I got a diamond within 2 days. Really, if I would have grinded those 2 days, if I would have grinded for 2 days, I would have had a diamond.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You get your weapons to a certain point, you get your armor or whatever. I don't know if armor means anything in COD Mobile.
Armor, there is no armor in COD Mobile. It's just you and all. I mean, you really can't do nothing really with your weapons except for put like attachments on them, right? And camos and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, you put your attachments on it, but like, it really don't matter about the attachments itself, okay? It matters about how you yourself play. Okay, and I'm a quick scoper melee person, so it is fun and funny to me whenever I'm a MVP with a sniper or a melee, and I'm running around the whole match.
Well, I mean, the way he's talking and the way I'm describing things is basically how I feel about these kind of animes. I mean, some of these animes, there's no challenge at all to these main characters, and strongest age, weakest Crest is definitely one of them.
Yeah, he don't have a challenge for himself. I mean, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna constantly walk through everything. Basically, that's what he's doing. He's walking through life like it's nothing. There's no challenge. Like I feel like they should have gave him an actual challenge, like an actual challenge.
That makes the plot line kind of bland too as well, and the characters were kind of bland. The only enjoyable character, like I told you guys, was Iris. At the average, all I can say is that this show was a meh, but definitely, on my opinion, that's not what I'm gonna give y'all, because I can't just give y'all in the middle, but I'm leaning more, so I'm gonna say nay. I mean, I don't want to hit anyone who is enjoying the show or enjoying the anime, but I also did research on it too, and a lot of people say the anime doesn't follow really close to the manga. So, I mean, I would recommend reading the manga if it's good, or if you're interested in this kind of genre. But right now, this anime that I'm specifically talking about, not manga, is a nay. So, what do you think, Joe?
I mean, personally, it was a decent show, and I'll don't get me wrong. Could have had some more action to it for me personally. We know how I am about that. Like some more good actions, not no bull crap where he like just one hit everybody. But you know, it was decent. It was okay, you know. But I'm gonna have to do the same and say AniYayAniNay really. Although at the beginning, you know, it was doing good at the beginning to me, but it started going down. Like it just became bland and not really any competition. Okay, and that's big. You need competition to me.
I'm highly recommending Joe, if he hasn't watched it, to watch One Punch Man.
I've seen bits and pieces.
But I mean, that's the funny thing. I mean, One Punch Man is the same thing like this show, so I'm guessing people may think that if I like One Punch Man, it's because he hates that about himself. That he can one shot kill everybody, and he's like,
See,
damn it.
I seen bits and pieces, and that's the reason why I couldn't really keep up with it, because it's like, hey, one punch, doop. Hey, one punch, doop. Hey, one punch, doop. Son of a... I mean, I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't continue to watch it. I mean, I watched probably I didn't watch them in order, but I probably watched 10 shows of it, or 10 episodes of it, in all. And they weren't in order, but I just couldn't. I couldn't watch no more. It was just
It's really meant to be comical, Joe. So it's not meant to be.
I mean, I laugh at everything anyway, so it's not really... Comedy ain't really the thing for me.
But, I mean, that's the whole point. That's what made it good to me, was the fact that he one punches everybody when he's going all out, so sometimes he has to bring down his power, and even that's not enough. I mean, my favorite character in that show was Genos, and he almost died fighting Hornet Queen, and then he comes out of nowhere... trying to kill a fly or a hornet with a spray thing that he's been chasing around his apartment. He's like, you think this is over, you bastard? And then he comes in contact with Hornet Queen. She comes in nowhere. He one punches her. Boom. And then he's like, bugs. They suck.
Bugs. I hate bugs.
But, I mean... he just comes out of nowhere, and Genos becomes fascinated by him, wanting to be his disciple. But I mean, that whole part was what made it funny, was that he's just a normal guy, and I mean, way he got stronger was really funny. I've heard of people actually trying his routine, and a lot of them gave up after maybe 15-20 days of doing it. 100 push-ups, 100 crunches, 100 squats, and a 10K run every single day for 3 years.
I mean, if that's what you gotta do.
Imagine you actually getting that strong, just doing that. I mean, I don't think it's possible, but... But, I mean, I think you would get stronger to a certain point. But the reason why I don't think it would is because with science, your body becomes accustomed to certain things. So if you just keep doing the same thing over and over, you're not going to get anywhere unless you do different stuff. That's why I felt that maybe Goku's training from the original Dragon Ball was a lot more effective, because he wore those giant turtle shells doing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, he'd be running, flying, all types of different crap, push-ups,
doing chores too.
So yeah, chores. He was just doing basically day-to-day basis with turtle shells, basically weights on his body.
Yeah, and then when he took it off, of course, it was it's like, whoa, I feel so light now.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to think that would really happen, but of course, it doesn't work to that extent. People say that if you actually did that to your body, they said you could still possibly die. If you go to sleep with weight on your chest or something like that, because you're contracting, retracting your muscles, and eventually your muscles are going to give out from breathing. It's just
it's possible, depending on the weight.
Let's get to the random pick, Joe. Although there's only one episode, one show I think left in there, but I don't even remember what it is.
I don't either. Let's see what this is. What is it this time today? Misfits of Demon Academy.
Ah,
I remember that one now.
That's an isekai, another isekai, I believe.
Yep, I remember that one now.
More isekais. Though another one I want to add to our list, I don't think this isn't a recommendation, but this is a recent anime, is Requiem of the Rose King. That's the one that we mentioned at the beginning of the year.
That's right. I was about to say, I remember that. Remember something about that one.
Based off Shakespeare. And I think that would be interesting to watch.
Alrighty.
I don't know if you're into Shakespeare, Joe.
Shakespeare was good. I like his poems and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if you think Shakespeare is good, in a way, to a certain extent, I guess.
It depends on which piece of Shakespeare.
Well, I mean, I've watched an anime based off Shakespeare. It's called Romeo and Juliet, but it's like Romeo X Juliet. But it takes place in a fantasy world, not in medieval times. They actually ride on dragon steeds and things like that. It's based off. It's made by the same guy who did Final Fantasy, so that made it more interesting.
Okay. I might have to check it out, even though it's a lubby-dubby. I know it's going to be a lubby-dubby.
Well, you should know what's going to happen in the end. They're both going to die.
I know.
But, I mean, it's, like, interesting because it's not, like, rivalry families.
Mm-hmm.
Juliet's, like, basically in hiding because she's a Capulet, and they were once the kings. But then the Montagues took over, and now the head Montague wants no more Capulets. So they're, like, in hiding. This is before Romeo was even born and stuff like that, and she was little too. But I mean, they run into each other, of course, at a ball, and they're like, love at first sight. But that's the usual thing I think you would expect from that show.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm not gonna like about it.
Yeah, but it's not just lovey-dovey all the time.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's the part that I'm not gonna like about it.
I know.
That's how I am. I'm gonna put it out there. I don't care.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, of course, of AniYayAniNay. You can catch us here. Of course, we try to put out a new episode every week. And we also check out our other content on The Life of Us, as well as check out our con videos. And we'll probably be adding some cosplay videos here and there, too.
Yeah, we'll probably do that once we get a little bit more time.
Yes, cosplay takes time. It's a time-consuming process.
Facts.
But, I mean, definitely when we get cosplay, more of our things built, or time to actually build things and record it, of course, we'll definitely put that on the channel, too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time, as always, I'm your host, John.
And I'm Joey.
We'll see ya
On the next show.